Welcome back to Creation Magazine Live. In this segment, what are we doing?
Well, we're going to be reading an interesting article from volume 29, issue number 3, and the title of the article is "Do Monkeys Play Football?" It's by David Catchpool from our Australian office. And funny title, but not a funny subject.
No.
And it directly relates to the creation evolution issue, but hopefully when we read this article, it's going to open up a few key concepts here, because some people think these things we talk about don't really, how does that reflect what's going on in our culture? Well, this has a direct impact, and there's a huge evolutionary component here. David starts off his article. He says, each of the following news reports does not provide a crucial piece of information, but simply assumes it. Can you spot what's missing? So maybe as you're listening here, you can spot it. BBC News reported that FIFA, that's the Federation Internacional de Football Association, would launch an investigation after Spanish fans hurled racist abuse during an England versus Spain friendly played in Madrid in November 2004. England's black players Sean Wright-Phillips and Ashley Cole were subjected to monkey chants from the crowd, prompting FIFA to condemn this latest surge of racism. Another article, the Washington Post, reported that Italy's Lazio Football Club was penalized by the UEFA, the Union of European Football Associations. We call that soccer, but they call it football, right?
Right.
For racist incidents. Pierre Boya, a Cameroonian player for Partizan Belgrade, was subjected to a torrent of monkey noises and grunts from Lazio fans in the stands whenever he had the ball. Belgrade's other black players received similar monkey noise treatments from spectators during the 2004 match in Rome. Another report, complaints that an investigation into the death of a black man, a former paratrooper who died in a British police station while handcuffed and lying face down, ignored taped evidence of racist abuse by police officers who dismissed the Crown Prosecution Service. The Crown Prosecution Service said it could not be proved that the taped chimpanzee or monkey-like chanting was racist, as someone could have been reacting or laughing at an officer who uttered the word banana shortly before the monkey chant is heard on the tape. But Barrister Peter Hervert, a member of the Attorney General's Race Advisory Board, says anybody with any common sense knows that monkey noises are evidence of racial abuse. Another report, the radio show hosted by Australian rules footballer Jason Ackermanis was axed amidst racist allegations after he referred to the radio station managers as monkeys. That Australian radio station is part of the National Indigenous Aboriginal Radio Service. There were even calls for Ackermanis to be barred from playing football. He's made a racist comment. He's denigrated Aboriginal people, said one Aboriginal activist. Ackermanis issued a formal apology saying, I by no way meant this in a discriminative manner. The network manager who dismissed Ackermanis said, does this bloke know that this terminology has been used in racist societies across the country, across the world? Does he know what he's saying and what the full meaning of the word monkey is? Another article, this time in Time magazine, reported that at a soccer match between Barcelona and Real Zaragoza in Spain in February 2006, a chorus of ape noises erupted from the stands whenever Cameroon-born Samuel Eto'o touched the ball. What concerns me, said Javier Duran, president of the Observatory of Racism in Sport, an anti-racism body created by the Spanish government, is how generalized the phenomena had become. At Zaragoza, it was the whole stadium chanting these ape noises, not just a handful of fans. Stirred to action, football's governing body, FIFA, ruled that national associations must punish clubs whose fans are guilty of racist abuse by deducting league points, imposing relegation or disqualification. So several articles he's referencing right off the bat.
Right.
So what's missing? Every one of these reports omitted an explanation of why grunts and ape noises from spectators or referring to radio station managers as monkeys is considered racist. What's the key element here? Why are people doing this? The closest anyone got to hinting that there's something unspoken underlying such racism were the comments from the barrister that anyone with common sense knows what monkey noises are evidence of racial abuse. And from the radio station manager asking incredulously whether John Ackermanis knows the full meaning of the word monkeys. Given his protestations of innocence, apparently Jason Ackermanis didn't know. And who could blame him, since no one was courageous enough to explain it publicly? Well, making a monkey out of people, is it racist or funny? It's not just black people who are the victims of monkey taunts. Even the U.S. President George Bush has been was likened to a chimpanzee. And magazine cartoonists in the 1800s lampooned Charles Darwin by drawing him as an ape. Although mocking of Bush and Darwin in such a way is considered humorous or disrespectful, depending on the leanings of the viewer, I've never heard it described as racist. And herein lies the key. When white people are likened to monkeys and apes, it's not racist. But to equate black people with monkeys and apes is racist.
Interesting.
And, yeah. To discover why, we can look to Darwin himself. It was his ideas that led to him being mockingly drawn as an ape. It seems he was the first man ever to be thus portrayed, and it is ideas which fueled monkey jibes towards black people today and explain why jibes are considered racist. And the title here of the next section, Monkeys Black, Humans White. When Darwin popularized the theory of evolution, he clearly suggested that some people are more evolved than others. In that context, it was easy for people of European ancestry to forget that Western achievements in science, literature, music, government institutions, etc., arose in large part out of the energizing freedom, mutual trust, and call to fruitfulness ideals provided by a biblical worldview. Instead, many people of British and European ancestry imagined that their evolutionary advanced societies reflected their superiority over other races, especially black races. They didn't realize where the good things came from, so to speak. Thus, the beguiling popular drawings showing an evolutionary transition from dark monkey ape to white human became increasingly the popular perception view. And I mean, everybody has seen this, right? You've seen the classic, you've got dark-skinned hairy apes over here, and as they get, bigger and more advanced, they turn into Caucasians.
Right. Yes.
Everybody's seen that, right?
The standard.
It's imprinted on every school child's brain if you go to a public education system. So today, because evolution is presumed to be true, making monkey noises at a black person is considered racist. You're demeaning black people as relatives to whites. In other words, when the media reports that monkey innuendos are racist, they're accepting the evolutionary worldview that some people groups are less evolved than others. Specifically, blacks are less evolved than whites. Of course, they don't dare put it so bluntly, it's simply assumed. And now the authorities are trying to stamp out such innuendos. There's a classic example of society reaping the consequences of what it has sown. Many in authority, it seems, have accepted the teachings of an evolutionary worldview, yet are unwilling to accept its consequences. So ideas really do have consequences. And one has to wonder whether the penalties mooted by the football authorities, FIFA and UEFA, for example, will really stamp out crowd racism. Former England footballer John Barnes, arguably the most successful black English player of all time, and himself the target of spectator monkey chants, clearly understands that the problem will not be solved by trying to control crowd behavior. If you tell a racist that for 90 minutes on a Saturday or Wednesday night that they should keep their mouth shut, and the other 6 days and 22 hours they can be a racist, I don't see how that's going to do anything to stop racism. That was his comment. The solution, of course, is to return to a biblical worldview, the only effective answer to racism, pointing out a few undeniable realities of life along the way. For example, it is people made in God's image who become professional footballers, paratroopers, managers of radio stations. Monkeys never have and never will. It's a good article. It's a wake-up article. I think it's, for people out there that are saying, oh, well, we can just believe God used evolution to create, or they're accepting these ideas. They don't understand the impact that it's making in our society. I mean, if you keep teaching kids that, evolution's true and different peoples evolved at different rates, then why wouldn't you be inherently racist? There's other articles like this on our website, creation.com. I encourage you to go there and check them out.